Hi everybody, today we're going to go and look at my Etsy ads experiment that I ran for the month of February, and it involved 5 Etsy sellers. It wasn't just my shop. What happened, I'm going to let you guys know, and also tell you what not to do and what to really watch out for with Etsy ads, because they are not working the way that they used to as far as we can see. If you're not familiar with me, or if this is the first time you've seen this channel, my name is Buntin. I'm a longtime Etsy seller with 3 shops and over 43,000 sales in my main shop, and I do videos to help other Etsy sellers. I've used Etsy ads kind of on and off for a long time. Back in the days when we could control our cost per click and Etsy gave us credit for being able to think about how much we want to spend on our ads, that was when they worked best for me. Ever since they changed to the system that is in place now, Etsy ads really have not worked for my shop, so I haven't run them, but I am a glutton for punishment and I keep coming back to try to turn them on to see if maybe something has changed. This time I decided to see if something had changed because they just recently put this thing in place where you could turn the keywords off that didn't fit the products and were bringing searches to your shop for irrelevant keywords. So I thought, maybe that'll be an improvement. Let's test. I didn't want to use my main shop because that shop gets sales all the time and it's kind of hard to figure out what's being brought in from ads and what isn't. So I use my digital shop, which does get sales occasionally, but it's not on a consistent basis where I would be making a full-time income from it. However, I didn't want to just use my shop because I really don't pay that much attention to it. So I got 4 sellers from my eShop Success program who have established shops or they're established shop owners, and they know how to run ads, they know how to sell things, their listings are going to be good. I'm not worried about that kind of thing. So I had 4 other people participate and I paid them to run ads and tell me what happened. The reason that I chose digital is because there's this big argument out there that if you do POD or you do digital, it's passive. So you should be able to run ads and make a big profit because there's no cost involved as far as the time that goes into making your products. And I've seen a few YouTube channels recently who are saying I made X amount of money. And then when you really get into it, it turns out that they spent a lot on ads. So their profit really isn't that big, but the way that they're presenting it, it looks like you are making a lot of money while you're running ads. But I especially wanted to look into the idea that this would increase your organic sales after the ads were turned off, because selling things through ads should logically increase the listing quality score. Now keep in mind that when you run an ad campaign, you have to have a reason for that campaign. There should be a goal for it. So you should want to get something out of the campaign and be able to say, this is what I want to see as a result of spending money on ads. In my advertising on Etsy class that you can sign up for, I'll put the link in the description, but there are 14 stated goals and tactics that you use to decide how to run ads and what you should be looking for when you do run an ad campaign. Now, I wasn't looking at all 14 of those for this. I wanted to see if running the ads would increase organic sales. I wanted to see if I could make a profit. I wanted to see if it would boost the whole shop and kind of the brand recognition. And I wanted to see if I could gather keyword data from the ads that would help me with my other listings that were not being advertised. So what was the result? Okay, I set my budget at $20 a day, and I knew I was pretty much throwing money down the toilet. That's okay, I'll do it for the sake of YouTube, that's all right. And I gave 4 other sellers $100 each, so there was at least $400 going into this, even if Etsy didn't show any of my ads. The total that all of us spent all together on ads for the month of February was $783.02. And the total revenue that we collected from all of our sales put together was $280.54. That means that we spent over $500 more than we got back in sales. So did everyone lose money? No, one person kind of broke even, one person made a slight profit, but 3 of us lost a lot of money on this. And I would say that the people who broke even or made a little bit of a profit did have higher prices on their digital products, but there was one person who only made 1 sale and he had the highest priced digital products. So maybe there is a sweet spot, I don't know. I don't think that that's it. I will interrupt myself here to say that if you're enjoying hearing about how I threw all my money down the toilet, then please give this video a like. It will help me feel better about it, and it also helps YouTube know to spread this to more people. So of the 4 things that we were looking at, did we make a profit? No. One person made a slight profit, but that was far offset by everyone else who spent money and lost a lot of money on this. The next thing I was looking at, could we gather keyword info? Well, the keyword info that we were gathering based on going into the keyword stats and turning off the irrelevant listings basically showed us that Etsy shows your ads for things that make absolutely no sense. And when you turn those terms off, it slows down the process of Etsy showing your ads. I would keep using that feature where you turn irrelevant terms off because it will kind of help the algorithm eventually. Now, can you use that information for your other organic listings? Sure. You can look to see what the accurate terms are that Etsy is showing you for in ads and go put those in your other listings. Whether it's going to help or not, I don't know. I didn't look at that, but it is one thing that you can do with Etsy ads at this point. The next thing I was looking at is whether showing the ads will help your whole shop because of name recognition and people see your listings in more than one place and they can see your listings more prominently. But while we were doing this, Etsy turned off the feature where they show the name of the shop in the ads. So instead of now saying ad by a cake to remember, it says ad by Etsy seller. And part of that benefit of having the brand recognition has been taken away by Etsy. Thanks a lot. So I would say that that's kind of a wash, and that might not be a good reason to go into ads unless you have your logo in all of your photos. Another thing that I was looking at was whether selling those listings through ads, is that going to help that listing in the long run by giving it a higher quality score? Now that's generally what I would run ads for because you want that benefit of selling the listing and having the quality score for the listing increase so that when you turn the ad off, Etsy keeps showing it more organically. And that's what a lot of people are saying to do. And the reason that they say to run ads, even at a loss, is because it will bring you more sales in the long run. However, that is not what I saw, and it's not what the people who tried this out with me saw. What we saw is that we were making consistent sales through ads, if we were making sales at all. And then the minute that we turned ads off, those sales flatlined. I'll show you my stats for this because I was making consistent sales throughout the whole ad campaign. But then the minute that I turned those ads off, nothing. And one person did say that her best sellers were something that she was advertising and she got a few more sales for them while she was advertising them. But then when she stopped advertising them, it kind of went back to the normal sales level. And you would think that if it's a proven product that people are buying, then that little boost in ads would definitely help it in organic search later, but that was not the case. And I know that you can't make huge generalizations about a whole ads campaign and a whole ads program based on 5 people trying them out, but we all kind of saw the same thing. So this is just something to be aware of and to be careful of if you do decide to use Etsy ads. What are some things that I would tell someone who said, I'm going to run some Etsy ads and make some sales? All right, well, first of all, I would say don't expect to make a lot of sales, but if you do, make sure that you're advertising things that have a higher price point. You want to have a higher price point so that you have a higher profit margin, so that you can afford to take the cost of those ads out and still make a profit. The second thing I would say is check your ads keywords and make sure that you're going in there and turning off irrelevant keywords, but keep an eye on it. And if your traffic drops a tremendous amount after you do that, go back in and see if there's something that's kind of tangentially related, like it's kind of associated with the item that you're selling. It might not be an exact match, but are people who are searching for that also searching for your type of item? And if that's the case, then maybe you can turn that irrelevant keyword on just to see if your sales do pick up or your views pick up, because Etsy has decided for some reason to show it for that. So it might think there's a relation between your item and that term, and we might not see it, but Etsy might see it with their data. The next thing is to do not expect this to lead to organic sales. And this is something that I find very confusing, because you would think that if something sells because of whatever reason, it's going to help that listing quality score. That's not what we saw. It's not something that you can be guaranteed that it's going to help your sales in the long run. So don't go into this thinking that that's going to be a guarantee of promoting your shop and having your shop act better after you turn the ads off, because it might not happen. The next thing, and this is probably the biggest thing that I would tell people, is to watch your costs for profits. Because a lot of times people will say, oh, I made $100 in ads and I only spent $90. But if that's a physical product, then you've probably just lost a lot of money right there, because it's taking that $90 for ads out of your profit margin. For digital products, it's probably the same thing. If you're spending as much as you're getting back, you're losing money because you're paying Etsy fees on the amount that you sold. So if you really sit down and do the math, you need to be aware of how much you can spend in order to make a profit and to make it worthwhile spending your ad money. Don't assume that just because it's a digital product or it's print on demand that it's okay to spend up to the cost of what you're actually making, because you have to take Etsy's fees into account, and we all know that those fees are going up. And then there's also credit card processing fees, and if you're international, there could be currency conversion fees. There's all kind of fees, and you need to look at your own situation to figure out what that is. I'll put a video up here that tells you how to figure out what your budget should be, because you shouldn't set your budget to $1 and expect that to work. And I will talk to you later.